I will tell you that I have a couple of Guilford High coaches have come to me because I've written about this, as well as several of my other writers, and they are very concerned over this. And the fact that your coaches are coming to me says that there may well be a problem. They wish to be fair to everybody, but of all the people, they know the limitations and the strengths of the athletes under their care. And they are saying there's something wrong here. There is a sense of unfairness, especially for those transgender girls that have gone through puberty, and now they have an innate biological advantage that natural born girls do not have. My undergrad is in biology. I understand this. I did molecular biochemistry research at BU Medical School way back when, and many pounds ago. There are innate differences that you cannot ignore. And since this has been popping up, more and more people are starting to talk and write about this. And it's not going to go away. You just can't brush it away. I think the board has to take a real hard look at what are all of the ramifications. I understand the hyper growth that you brought up earlier, but I also look at girls and boys, bell curves of capability. That was somebody that would be far to the right and really an outlier. We're not talking about that here. I understand that some parents are putting their transgender kids on puberty blockers. It remains to be seen how that is going to work going forward. Most aren't, as Matt said. How do you take care of that? And that's, I will say again, this is going to be a tricky issue, and I don't have a solution to that other than how do you create fairness of physical ability in that target group.
Is it? Once again, I think this is a big discussion. No offense to anybody in this room, but we're not going to solve that problem us here. For me, on this, just being pragmatic, if we don't allow a transgender student to participate on the boys soccer team, or the girls soccer team, right? Are we discriminating against? Are we discriminating against them? So we are.
It feels like it, yes.
So I think for now.
Title IX, because in Section 1, you indicate you're concerned about violating Title IX, but now in Section 3H, you don't have any concern whether you're violating Title IX or not.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the policies written here. I'm talking about real law. I mean, are we?
In practice.
Right, in practice. Are we discriminating against those? And if we are, then we have to.
If my kid is the first kid cut, are you discriminating against my child then?
Your child can still play on the sports team.
I understand, but if you take up a spot, then on that team, if someone takes up a spot that wasn't biological female, then you are taking an opportunity away from my daughter.
Fortunately, Guilford, there are many teams that cut.
Well, maybe basketball.
Again, I go
basketball.
back to the physical and the safety concerns with it.
The New Jersey Interscholastic Athletic Association, the question was posed to them, what if a transgender student's identification adversely affects competition or safety? And their answer is, if a New Jersey State Interscholastic Association member school believes that the participation of a particular transgender student would adversely affect competition or safety, that school may appeal the student's eligibility. The appeal would be heard by the New Jersey State Interscholastic Association's Eligibility Appeals Committee, a group of educators. The hearing would be confidential. The hearing would focus on issues related to competition and safety and would not determine whether the school had properly determined student sex assignment. So it sounds to me there that if there's a question of safety, the school would then review it.
That's New Jersey.
Could you add something?
Right, but you've brought up Connecticut, so what I'm saying is,
I know what you're referencing, we use,
so why couldn't we do something to the effect that if this is an issue or a concern?
because my concern
That it
is
be
when, because
reviewed.
the problem with that would be is I would have to know ahead of time that the team that they're playing against would have someone, because at that point, anybody that, you know, once you're on the team, then they're not a concern to you because they're on your side. But then I need to know then, if I'm concerned with my daughter's safety, then I need to know the roster. And again, the names, you can't tell by the names of it, so now I need to know something about that school to be able to raise a flag.
So you're talking about other schools now, not.
Well, that's where we get into, I mean, there's the competitive fairness in regards to how many people are going to be on the team, which kids can actually play on the field. But then when you do play against another team, because, you know, if I'm on your team, I'm not a physical threat to you, it's
Right.
now who's on the other team. So now you're saying I need to know who's on the other team, know their roster, and then I need to debate it before.
But we
I just
can't
think this is
control
too.
what other teams are doing.
I understand, but I can control what my daughter's involved in, and that's what I'm trying to do, is protect her. So my suggestion is we just remove H for now. Like I said, Chris supported that argument too, so this isn't coming out of left field.
So how is this, I don't understand how that, I mean, how is that going to protect your daughter? Because we can't control what other teams are doing.
I understand, but you can at least handle what Guilford is doing in regards
So,
to
but you
who's on the
just said
team.
you're not concerned if somebody's on that team with your daughter.
But you are possibly taking a spot on the field away from my daughter then if you go forward with this.
So now it's more of a spot than it is.
No, it's both. I mean,
safety.
there's many sides to look into, and that's why we can't just go straight down, this is what I'm seeing. There's so many different angles. I mean, this can be problematic. So I'm just asking, like I said, Chris had said he wouldn't vote for it if this was in there. I'm asking it just to be removed.
Well, it's just not specific also to transgender students when it comes to safety. I have an autistic child that's borderline autistic, and their safety is a concern when they play regular sports.
I mean, you're violating Title IX. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens but there has been people on the board that are outspoken against this.
And I get that. Everybody has their own opinion. We're just having a conversation about it, trying to find that happy medium. But you're specifically talking about transgender students in that aspect, and there are other avenues there. We're not going into this with not looking at all different
But
areas.
we're talking about transgender today. We're not making a policy for autistic children.
And I get that,
And
but
so
that's also
where she's saying, well, which side is it? Well, there's many sides to this argument. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's just so many different avenues of concern. I'm just asking that it just be removed at this time until there's further clarification. I mean, if the Department of Education comes back and makes a decision that says, yes, students can participate with the team that they identify with, then there's no case here. You don't even need to put that in there.
So we have to
That's
wait.
Connecticut also.
Yeah.
That's
No,
That's
that
not New
wouldn't be
Hampshire.
jurisdictional.
Well, it's the United States Department of Education's reviewing it.
So
Do we have-
can I just read what the NHIA has on
Yeah.
participation, section 21 policy statement and school recommendation regarding transgender participation? The NHIA is committed to providing transgender student athletes with equal opportunities to participate in NHIA athletic programs consistent with their gender identity. Hence, this policy addresses eligibility determinations for students who have a gender identity that is different from the gender listed on their official birth certificates. The NHIA has concluded that it would be fundamentally unjust and contrary to applicable state and federal law to preclude a student from participation on a gender-specific sports team that is consistent with the public gender identity of that student for all other purposes. Therefore, for the purposes of sports participation, the NHIA shall defer to the determination of the student and his or her local school regarding gender identification. In this regard, the school district shall determine the student's eligibility to participate in an NHIA gender-specific sports team based on the gender identification of that student in current school records and daily life activities in the school and community at the time the sports eligibility a gender-specific sports team that is different from the gender identity listed on the student's current school records are advised to address the gender identification issue with the local school district well in advance of the deadline for athletic eligibility determinations for a current sports season. Students should not be permitted to participate in practices or to try out for gender-specific sports teams that are different from the publicly identified gender identity at the time, or to try out simultaneously for NHI sports teams of both genders. So it seems like, there's one last paragraph, nothing in this policy shall be read to entitle a student to selection of any particular team or to permit a student to transfer from one gender-specific team to a team of a different gender during a sports season. In addition, the NHI shall expect that, as a general matter, after the issue of gender identity has been explicitly addressed by the student and the school district, the determination shall remain consistent for the remainder of the student's high school sports eligibility. ITA has concluded that this policy adequately addresses the concerns that a student might claim a particular gender identity for the purpose of gaining a perceived advantage in athletic competition, but does not unfairly discriminate against transgender student athletes. So my read on that is that if a student is identifying as one gender in the school, then that's the sports teams that that student should be playing on.
Croc TV.